Drill, baby, drill. That mission being executed right now in Alaska, where the Trump administration is moving to unlock millions of acres in the National Petroleum Reserve by taking a bulldozer to Biden's crazy climate rules.
The White House to scrap a 2024 drilling ban that Interior Secretary Doug Burgum says wasn't just bad policy, but also broke the law and blocked energy projects critical to U.S. supply.
This is not a wilderness area. This was set aside back in the 1920s by President Wilson as specifically as a naval strategic petroleum reserve. And the idea that Biden could somehow try to turn it into wilderness last year with the stroke of a pen is ridiculous. This is a strategic petroleum reserve for the country.
But wait. Here come the environmentalist nutties already, grabbing their protest sign, saying the rollback will wreak havoc on the caribous and polar bears and belugas. Oh, my.
Here to react is House Natural Resources Committee member, Alaska Congressman Nick Begich. Congressman, it's great to have you on the program tonight. Thank you for being here. We need more energy. We need it for so many reasons, domestic consumption, for pricing, but also to share with our allies and to be able to have the ability to export. President Trump wants to be the leader in AI. We're going to need tons of natural gas to generate electricity to do that. So I want you to talk about that aspect of this drilling project and rolling back the Biden rules, but also what it's going to do for your state specifically, because many are saying it's going to devastate the wildlife. Well, you know what? It's also going to create a lot of jobs, and it's going to bring business to your state.
Well, I'll tell you what, nothing says that we can do responsible resource development in Alaska like 50 years of the Trans-Alaska Pipeline. You know, we have proven over decades that Alaskans know how to do resource development right. And in fact, many of the same objections that are being raised today were raised 50 years ago when that pipeline was being discussed. There was all kinds of discussion around the caribou herd. The caribou herd is stronger today than it was then. We know how to develop in harmony with nature, and we need this energy. You're 100% right. Whether it's AI or the growing demands of the reshoring of manufacturing to the United States, we've got to have stable baseload power. We have that power in abundance in the form of Alaska's natural gas, and we're looking forward to unleashing that for the benefit of not just Alaskans, but for the entire nation.
You know, Congressman, and you know this, we're talking about a commodity here. You put it out on the market to what Jackie alluded to, and you start affecting pricing across the board. This also benefits the residents of Alaska, because they get a cut in that sense. Great for the residents, great for the Inuits, great for everyone in Alaska. And yes, it benefits the polar bears. They keep growing. Apparently, they're not dying off. Looking at the map, which I have right here, of the SPR, of the Petroleum Reserve in Alaska, this is a small area compared to the entire state. So the enviro-nutty footprint that they're claiming doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. You know, this is nothing more than a fundraising attempt by Democrats and their hard left allies. They use Alaska as a political football, but the reality is Alaska has more estimated undiscovered natural gas and oil than any other state in the country. We need to, it is incumbent on us to unlock the resources of Alaska for the benefit of this nation. And it's not just oil and gas, it's also critical minerals, base metals, precious metals, rare earths. We have all of those things in Alaska in abundance. 49 of the nation's 50 critical minerals are in Alaska. We see China right now continuing to double down on this strategy of restricting our ability to access rare earths and critical minerals. There's no reason for that. We have those resources in Alaska, and they're available to the people of our nation with the right leadership.
And real quick, when it comes to China, whether it be, extracting minerals or doing coal projects, whatever it is, they don't pay any attention to any kind of climate regulation. I just want to underscore the fact that here in the United States, we have used innovation, we have used technology, the energy industry, to make it safe, to make it efficient, to make it cheaper. All of these controls are in place to make sure that it's as safe as possible.
You're 100% right. And I tell everybody, look, if you really care about the earth, if you're a true environmentalist, you should demand that the work of resource development be done where it's done best. And it's done best in the United States. It's done best in Alaska. So someone who really cares about the Earth shouldn't be demanding we close off development here at home. They should be demanding we bring it back home where we can keep a watchful eye and a responsible hand on that resource development. That's Alaska. That's the United States. It's the responsible path forward. Under President Biden, we experienced obstruction. Under President Trump, we're experiencing production. And it's time to unlock Alaska and start producing.
Absolutely. And I'll just make the point that this is part of his larger economic policy, the energy aspect.
Unleash American energy, free energy.
Congressman, thanks. Thanks for being here. Nick Begich.
Thank you. Drill, baby, drill.
Okay.